Welcome there.
Welcome.
Welcome back to the match of the week or whatever we call this thing. The match today that we're talking about is Brock Lesnar versus John Cena versus Seth Rollins at Royal Rumble 2015 for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Brock Lesnar winning as the champion for this particular match. Boy, this was one of the best matches I ever seen. When I watched this match initially, I was like, man, I really want to become a wrestler. I was about to do it, but it cost too much money, and I don't like brain damage. Anyway, that's enough about my background. I want to hear your thoughts about this before I taint it with my knowledge.
It was an incredibly brutal fight. I mean, I've only seen two matches in their entirety,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't see how another match could reach this level of just straight up madness.
I'm happy you said that because there is not another match like this. Unless you watch some old ECW stuff where they use weapons and barbed wire and bats and stuff, but that's a different type of brutality.
Yeah.
This men being physical like this has never happened again because there's never been another Brock Lesnar. Um, yeah, so we'll go on though.
I mean, he started off with like 5 straight German suplex. Pretty sure they were big German suplexes.
Yeah, big German suplexes.
And it's like, okay, you do that like 2 seconds into the match. He throws Cena down. That looked tough. He does it to Rollins. Okay, that hurts. And then he does it to Cena again, like just a minute later. And both of them are just lying on the ground. Lesnar hasn't been touched at all in like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just absurd. That man's a physical monster.
Yeah. And when he came in, like usually it takes him a good 3 to 7 minutes before he turns sweaty and purple. But he came out already just wet, drenched in his own sweat, purple than anything I've ever seen. Like he was just one big vein coming out. And I'm like, oh my god, this is so scary. I do not want to be in the same arena as this man. Good thing I'm not going to WrestleMania this year because I do not want to be in the same room as him. But like I want to go to the entrances though, because when John Cena came in, I think he came in first. Heavy boos. I don't know why. I mean, I know people don't like him because he wins all the time, but he was in the middle of a period where he wasn't winning all that much, or he wasn't winning championships all that much. But, Seth Rollins, I don't remember if people were booing him or not.
I think he kind of got a neutral.
Yeah, because people that like him like because he's super athletic and good in the ring, but some of the other people boo him because he's a bad guy. Anyways, uh, yeah, it started off brutal. Then towards the beginning, he's German suplex 2 people. I'm like, God, man, he's really something. But anyways, let's go. Let's keep going towards the middle of the match. What are you thinking as the match progressed?
Um, when Lesnar first got hit, I think it was by Cena, I was like, okay, so this is actually going to be like, this is going to be a competent match. Both, everybody's going to get their licks in. It'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. I can't remember when exactly this happened, but no, this is towards the end. When Lesnar got thrown, he was on the table,
Mm-hmm.
and then Rollins jumped from the top rope, onto Lesnar through the table,
Mm-hmm.
and Lesnar was knocked out for like at least 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that fight was so all over the place.
And it never stopped. They had no period where like they took a break. That's how triple threat matches should be, but rarely they are like that. Somewhere along the line they stop for some reason. But they was going so fast. You have 3 fantastic athletes. Brock Lesnar is a bear. Seth Rollins is just an athletic CrossFit freak, and John Cena. You just get all of them in there, just fantastic. Who the fuck is texting me? Damn, I don't care about cats.
There was like a little bit where all 3 of them were like lying in the middle of the mat.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, when one went down, the other 2 were with each other.
Yeah.
And they kept a nice pace, nice rotation of being down and fighting.
I like when I love the curb stomp. You can't tell with my GTO wrestler creations. I love the curb stomp, and that was all over this match. Oh, when Brock Lesnar just takes it and just eats the mat, and toward like the very end, this was the finish. Seth Rollins curb stomps him once. Then he goes for it again. He gets the briefcase, puts it under his head. He bounces off the ropes, and he gets caught. F5, and now that was it. I'm like, oh man, I wanted to go like at least 1 minute more. I wanted to see Brock get curb stomped to the thing, but I'm just ultra violent. But it was a perfect ending. I mean, especially the part when you don't know much about the significance of the finishing move. Because in the game, everyone kicks out of everything. And in this match, everyone kicks out of everything. But it's a special occasion because John Cena had his attitude adjustment when he has him on the shoulder and slams him down. He did that to him like 3 times.
3 straight AAs.
And he still kicked out. The first 2, he just got straight up. And that's just unheard of.
He's not human.
It's not human.
There's no way.
I don't know. It's fantastic. I watched this match about 6 times over the course since it happened, 3 times in one day. And I'm like, oh, this is why I want to become a wrestler, because it's so intense. And it's just, when you show this to somebody doesn't like wrestling, like, if you see this, there's no way, if you don't like this, you don't like art. This is just something that's so beautiful about what happened.
There's no way you can't get hyped watching this.
Yeah. I don't understand not watching other stuff. But anyways, one thing I noticed later on, like 7 months later, like in September, Seth Rollins was fighting a match off TV, and he did like he had somebody on the top rope. Like this happened here too. He had John Cena on the top rope, and he flipped over and onto the ground, landing on his 2 feet, and his knee went in a little bit. And here nothing happened from it. He just did a move, whatever, like powerbomb on the other turnbuckle. And then, but September, 7 months later or whatever, he tried to do the same move. Knee went in all the way, and he was out for about 8 months. And I'm like, that was some nasty foreshadowing. Maybe you shouldn't be doing that move because you can't see where you're landing because your head is in the other guy's like ass area. You can't really see the ground. I'm like, yeah, he does a lot of stuff where he lands. Like, you know about like basketball players, they jump too high and they land awkwardly. Yeah. He does a lot of stuff like that. Like, he would jump out of the ring and land on his feet. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. It's not good for your knees.
He's reckless. He's unsafe, you could say.
Yes, very, very unsafa. But yeah, he ended up winning a champion somewhere else down the line, and he had to vacate the championship because he broke his leg basically. And now he wrestles a very, very different style where it's not as much as exciting. But good for him though. He's still getting a paycheck.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was pretty much the match. But you got we do the All-Star thing. Obviously, all 3 of these guys are fantastic. Yeah. So you got John Cena, Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar. Which direction you want to go? Who do you want to see next?
I don't know. I want to see more Brock Lesnar, but I think I'm going to go with Seth Rollins.
Ooh,
a bit of a different choice.
Okay, I'm trying to think of a match. I'm going to try to stick with WWE here. Let's see. What was his best match that he has had? He had another one against Brock Lesnar, but that went by very quickly because he kept doing the German suplexes.
That was just a one-on-one?
Yeah. And then
of course that would.
And then the Undertaker came in and came out of nowhere. But we're not going to do that. I'm trying to think of his best matches. John Cena. It happened later that year at SummerSlam in August. It was title versus title. Seth Rollins had the WWE Championship. John Cena had the US Championship. They went against each other. The winner would get both championships. Jon Stewart was there, and he, let's just say there were shenanigans. So anyway, I think that's a good one to see. Because it's the same quality, but it's more athletic, a lot less powerful, I would say. Oh, he does that, going back to the Royal Rumble match, he did that, the Phoenix Splash, like the thing off the top rope where he flips around about like six different ways. He landed on his face. That really had to hurt. He landed on his face and Cena's stomach. I mean, if any of y'all are even vaguely interested in wrestling, I mean, don't go buy WWE Network. Just go to Daily Motion. It's just there. You can go watch it. Anyways, that's it. Next time, we're talking about Seth Rollins versus John Cena. Double title match at SummerSlam 2015. Equally as good match. So, anyways, what do you think about wrestling so far? After 2 matches, different in style, different in significance. What do you think about so far?
It's entertaining most of the time. The first match, there were a couple of down moments, but yeah, that's to be expected. But overall, over the two matches, I would say like 85% of it was action.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
And I'm gonna try to give you stuff that has clean endings where there's no cheating involved or no like behind the back stuff, because it's a 12-month sport
Yeah.
type of thing. There's no season like there should be. These people exert themselves just as much as other athletes. Why I don't get a break at some point? That's a discussion for another day. It's really stupid. But anyways, like it's very very physical, but it has to contain itself to 12 months, and then it never stops. And they peak at WrestleMania kind of, but they still next day have to go wrestle again. So to keep interest, they have to have like uh, smudgy, muddy finishes sometimes when people cheat or a ref counted when somebody's leg was on a rope or stuff like that, and they have to just keep the drama going. So I'm gonna try to keep you away from stuff that's not clean endings, because I can see you getting very annoyed very quickly, because that means annoying when I watch it anyways. We'll see you next time. Go watch John Cena versus Seth Rollins. It's gonna be a good match. See you then.
Like,